Can grandparents get custody or visitation rights in New Jersey?
In the state of New Jersey, grandparents can petition the court for custody or visitation, but it is a very difficult burden. The reason for that is that parents have a presumed and constitutional right to access to a child, but that right also comes with the ability to deny third parties access, and that also attends to grandparents. So a parent can say, I don't want my parent or the parent of my former spouse to have access to my child, and generally speaking, that entitlement by a parent is going to be respected unless there can be proven harm to a child. So when a grandparent petitions the court for visitation, typically that is only going to be granted in circumstances where they can prove a demonstrable harm to a child and thus override the constitutional right of a parent to say, nope, you cannot have access. That type of harm is not easily demonstrated, but we usually start by looking at things such as how much access to the child the grandparent had before they petitioned for court. There is also a requirement that grandparents do have to try to resolve the right of access with the parents. So a grandparent can't just file a motion in court and say, I would like to see my grandchild because I feel morally entitled to it. The grandparent has to show that he or she reached out to the parent, that the parent gave their reasons for denying access, and then ultimately the grandparent has to move very quickly to the court to try to prove that there's a harm to the child. That harm can often be proven by just showing how frequently the child was seeing the grandparent before the parent cut off access. So a grandparent who comes to town once or twice a year and sees the child is going to have a negligible to almost zero chance of being able to petition for visitation. On the other hand, a grandparent who was keeping the child as a caregiver while the parents were working 2 or 3 times a week or coming over every single weekend, in that scenario, the child is probably going to not just experience that loss, but often be harmed by it. But again, grandparents have to move very quickly. As soon as there's a denial of access, they must petition the parent first, and if the parent still says no, move very quickly to the court, because the more time passes between denial of access and the motion, the less likely it is to be granted.